Hi everyone, it's Robin, and today I am back to answer some of your decorating and lifestyle questions, I guess. So I got a few decorating questions, I got a few things about like meal planning, that sort of thing. So we're just going to answer all of them today. So this is my second week answering questions, and last week, if you guys watched it, it was super long, and I apologize for that, but I had a lot of questions, so I wanted to make sure that I could answer them all. I think in the future, if I have that many questions, I might have to do it in a part 1 and part 2 sort of situation, but being as that was the first week, I would probably get the most questions that week. So this week I have a much more manageable list that I think I can get done in a relatively good time, so that this isn't an epically long video again. So I have been enjoying this very, very much, so keep those questions coming in the comments down below after this video. So let's go ahead and jump right into the questions from last week. So the first question is from Carol, and she is asking, how's the puppy, and has he chewed any of your prized finds yet? Thankfully, no, he has not really chewed anything like into total destruction yet. We are giving him like little chew bones and stuff like that, so that kind of helps with the chewing, but he is obsessed with shoelaces. Not the shoes so much, but the shoelaces. So basically every time we're looking for a shoe, he's got it somewhere and it's pretty much unlaced. He like unlaces the shoes and then chews on the shoelaces, which is totally okay with me because as long as he's not chewing on the shoes, shoelaces are much more easy to replace than a whole set of shoes. So the next question is from Gail Ann, and she asks, do you decorate your camper as well? If I decorated my camper, my husband would kill me. Here's the camper. We bought it brand new, which we really splurged on, but we figured it was something that is our main vacation every single year. That's what we like to do. We like to get into the woods. We like to just be camping, going to the beach, four-wheeling, that sort of thing. That's like what we do. We don't go to resorts and we don't fly all over the place. We go camping. So we bought a camper, and I pretty much just let my husband pick the one that he wanted and the style that he wanted. So when we were camper shopping, my husband was really drawn to the dark wood in all the campers, and he absolutely loved it. So that's what we went with, because as you can tell, the house is not that way at all. So he's got the camper, so I'm not allowed to decorate in there. Alright, so the next question is from Patricia, and she says, I'd like some help with meal planning. I never know what to cook or what to buy, and what's on your regular meal rotation. I really feel at this time too that I am in a meal slump, but I do have a plan for dealing with meals, but it seems like we're kind of revamping it right now because we're kind of tired of the old things that we've always had. But one thing that is always on our meal plans every single week, we have a few things. We always have tacos. I love tacos. So Mama gets her tacos every week, and then we always have a breakfast meal every single week, whether it be French toast or quiche or pancakes or like omelets, that sort of thing, because that's another thing that we really enjoy, but we never really make because we don't make sit down breakfast, you know what I mean? So we do that once a week for a meal. It's normally a weekend meal because it's so quick and easy. Another thing that lately we have been having every single week is hamburgers. My kids are obsessed with hamburgers lately. They're like, they would eat hamburgers every single day if I let them. And then the other thing that we always have, normally on Friday nights, is pizza. Because Mama likes her pizza, and I can't go very long without having pizza. I just love it so much. And then a lot of times when I have pizza night, my husband doesn't really care for pizza, so I will make him a meatloaf, and I have one daughter. One daughter and my husband are obsessed with meatloaf. So a lot of times I'll make them a pan of meatloaf, and then we'll make a few pizzas. So when I first started putting together a meal plan, I went through my cookbooks and I listed out all of the meals that we have on a regular basis, making sure that I had some kid-friendly meals, some mama-friendly meals, and some daddy-friendly meals. And then once I had a big list of, items that we liked to eat, I broke that up into 5 different sections. And those sections were pasta, chicken, beef, pork, and miscellaneous. So then I took my list and I made this little chart on just a plain piece of paper, and I kind of put those meals into whatever category they went into. So then I have a visual of, you know, all the chicken recipes that I like to use, all the beef recipes that I like to use, that sort of thing. So let me grab my camera real quickly and I will show you the chart that I have that breaks down all of our meals into the different categories, and then I'll show you how I have put those categories into weekly plans. I'll be right back. Okay, so here's the little chart that I have, and I keep this chart in the very front of my cookbook binder. So you can see I have these different squares. I've got the pasta, chicken, beef. Down here I've got pork and miscellaneous. So I basically, for the chicken, I wrote all the recipes in that use chicken. Same thing for beef, and then anything that's pasta, and then pork. And then miscellaneous has, like, you know, toasted sandwiches, BLTs, salad, pizza, hoagies, you know, hot dog surprise, that sort of thing. So that's my basic, this is a whole list of all the foods that we eat on a normal basis. Once I had that first graph done, I made this graph. And so basically it's just 3 columns that represent 3 different weeks. Each column has 7 boxes for 7 different meals. So once I had this graph ready to go, I started filling it in with the different individual meals. So let's say I went through chicken. I make sure that week 1 had a chicken recipe, week 2 had a chicken recipe, and week 3 had a chicken recipe. The chicken that way, and then I went through the beef and the pork the same way, and then I filled in any empty spaces with a miscellaneous item. And some of the items you'll see it has like an option. So when I come to week 2, I can have beef stroganoff, hamburgers, or patty melts. That way it just kind of gives you a little bit of variation where you're basically using the same meat product in that week. Basically that's what I do when it comes to meal planning, and it's worked very well for me. So there you go. So the next question is from Cass, and she asks, in the past I purchased old books for decor, but they all seem to have a musty smell. Any suggestions on ridding books or other items of that musty smell? But sometimes you get a book that are really, really bad. Now, first of all, check out the book. Make sure the book doesn't have any mold, visible mold on it, because sometimes that is the way why it has that smell, or it was just been kept in a really like damp area and it'll just get that damp, musty smell, but not necessarily have mold on it, so don't worry about that. I've never come across a book with actual mold on it, but it would be a good step to check that out. Alright, so basically what you're going to want to do is get yourself a fresh new box of baking soda. And then, depending on the size of the book, if a book will fit in one of those large, like quart size Ziploc bags, something like that, or find like a Rubbermaid container that your book will fit in that has a nice tight fitting lid. So basically, you're going to sprinkle a whole bunch of the baking soda in whatever container you decide, put the book in it, close it up, and let it sit like that for a couple hours. Take it out and see, and shake it off a little bit, see what you think. If it needs longer, put it back in. You know, you could leave it in there for, you know, a couple hours, a couple days, a week, whatever. I've never ever had to do this more than like a day. So then what I do is just shake it off real good. If it's anything like caught onto the, sometimes the baking soda will kind of get caught on the cover. If it's got like a, you know, plush kind of cover, you just take a vacuum cleaner to it or whatever. And then, this is totally optional, I do not know if it makes any sense whatsoever, but my mom always told me that sunlight was a good deodorizer and disinfectant. So, so I will take the book and like open it up like so that the pages are open, and I will set it in like a sunny windowsill, just kind of opened up as far as I could get it, just open up and stay there. And I'll just let it sit in the sun, full sun, for like an hour or so. The next question is from Cass also, and she says, I have a red brick fireplace as a mantle, and as the mantle It has a recessed built-in arch. I've been in this home for over 20 years and have had very little decor there and have yet to be satisfied with what I've had placed there. I love the nook but just can't seem to decorate the area. It's approximately 3 feet wide by 2 feet tall by about 16 to 20 inches deep from front to back. So basically it's a half circle. My style is kind of classic / traditional with some eclectic touches / accents. I like to mix some old items I love. I don't have any collections and I don't want to just buy stuff to be buying it. I want a direction and then buy things I love to accent this beautiful area. Any suggestions based on what I wrote? I've had a few people mention photos in various frames, which I've had just to fill the space, but have not been satisfied. Just not what I want. Help! Alright, I had fun with this question. Let me just tell you. I was thinking about this all week long. I was writing down things and I just had a lot of fun with this one. The very first thing that I thought of when you were describing that is a mirror that I just bought not too long ago. It's obviously too small for your space, but I know they have some that are bigger. And if it were mine, that is exactly what I would do. Let me grab it real quick. So this type of mirror right here, put this in the back of it and then some decorative things in the front. It will look really cool. I think a mirror like that would be really cool. It would brighten up that space. If the whole, I think you said the bricks were red, so that might be kind of a dark kind of place. So that would brighten that area up. So anyways, that was the first idea I have. So I went a little crazy with drawing up some like ideas for you. So I'm going to show you those ideas and feel completely free to laugh at all of my drawings because I am not by any means an artist and my drawing is very elementary to say the least. But I think it'll be good enough to be able to get across the point I'm trying to make and the overall look that I'm trying to make. So let me grab my camera. I'm going to put it at a different angle so I can show you my beautiful drawings. And I'll walk you through a few of the ideas that I had for this. See what I mean? My drawings are terrible. But anyways, you can basically see this is like the brick opening that you have, half circle opening. And this right here is the mirror, the half mirror that I would place in the back. And then you could add some items towards the front, like maybe a topiary on each side because you like the more traditional type of decorating. Or you could add a lot of other things, like here you could add like a little dish with you know, like those little decorative spheres in it. You could add like a little flower arrangement in the middle or a stack of books in the middle, just a lot of different things. But adding the mirror to the back and then grounding it with 2 topiaries or 2 similar items, like if you have 2 vases, 2 lanterns, whatever, gives you a nice classic look. And then you could add a little collectible kind of thing in the middle. If you wanted to add something taller in the middle, like say a row of beautiful candlesticks with candles on them, that would be really nice also. So that's like my first idea I came up with by using the mirror, little topiaries, that sort of thing. So this next idea might be a little too country, I'm not real sure, but here's your basic opening again, and this one I thought of adding like a little gate sort of thing, like a little fence post in the back, or you could do like a little shiplap kind of like wall decor and just make it so that it fits that space, kind of angled down on the sides. So it pretty much fills the whole space, but not all of it around the edges. And then hang a wreath on the front of it. That would be super quick, easy decoration. It would brighten up the space. Whatever you put in the back, whether it be a picket fence like thing or if it's a shiplap thing or like pallet wood sort of built item, you could leave it, you could stain it, you could paint it, you can make it chippy. You could even use like antique fencing that sometimes I find at like, what do you call them, flea markets and that sort of thing. Just anything like that would be really, really cute in that area with a wreath hanging on it. And you could add to that, add to this also with any sort of, you know, I'm thinking spring at this point because spring is right around the corner. So once you've got your background with the wreath hanging on it, any type of wreath, you could do floral wreath, a simple twig wreath, that sort of thing. You could go ahead and add some little bird houses to the side, and then maybe mimic the same thing on the other side, or maybe just one birdhouse on each side and then like a little bird figure, something like that. So that was my second idea with using some sort of gate or shiplap or something like that in the back with the wreath in the middle. I think that would look really nice. Alright, so this next idea is we're like going for real simplistic in this point. Just a little something to add to the mix to kind of brighten up that area. And I came up with this idea of using some sort of planter box filled with flowers. Now your planter box, you could use a wood box, you could use a wicker basket, a wire basket. They have really cute like boxes that have like writing on them, or little shiplap or beadboard boxes. You can go crazy. Any kind of box. And then it would, and then fill in the inside with like hydrangeas or a mix of flowers, that sort of thing. And that would be really pretty. For like the spring or summertime. Say winter time, you could add a little row. You could add like a tall Christmas tree with two little small ones on the other side. Add some little twinkle lights hanging down over the side of the box. That would be really cute. So, I mean, there's a lot you can do to make just something as simple as this look cute and different with the seasons. But you will still just have that one basic box, and you can add different stuff like a row of ferns like trailing over the side of the box. It would be really cool too. But if you don't like the sparseness of that, I did think you could add something like a beautiful little mason jar and like a complementary color to the two sides. Or if you're like into bottles and stuff, you could do like some glass bottles in some different colors and some different sizes on each side of the arrangement in the middle. So that's just kind of an, you know, you could use anything really. Little lantern. But I really think that like the glass bottles are kind of in all the really funky shapes and stuff. That would be really fun. But if you wanted to go more traditional, so that was the next idea that I came up with. So here's another example of a very simplistic arrangement based on one item. And this item you're going to want to make sure that it's going to be oversized so that it fills the space, but not fill the space too much that you don't have that white area around it, so that the outside will kind of frame the project or whatever you place in here. So I was thinking like a nice rusty, crusty urn of some sort with like a fern that spills up over it. So that would be a really nice pop of green, because adding a little live greenery or even faux greenery to a room is always just a nice accent. You don't have to worry that it doesn't match, because green live plants go with everything. So that is a very simple way to, you know, add a little greenery to your decor. If you didn't like it so very sparse, you could go ahead and do something like add some finials to one side or something like that, or add a finial to each side, maybe not two. Or if you didn't want to do like a pot with some ferns in it, you could add like a big box that's, you know, a decorative box with maybe a clock on top, or maybe a trio of lanterns or hurricane lanterns with like battery operated flowers in it, so that every night it comes on and then this whole area would just kind of glow. That would be really fun. And you could add candles in with this mix too. In any of these examples you could add, you know, your flameless candles to just kind of make the area kind of glow and cozy at night, which would be kind of fun. So then I have one very last example, and this is also again one that you could use that is going to be very simplistic, and that is a gorgeous wreath that of your choice. Something big that you can put in there that's going to add you some color, some dimension, that sort of thing. And then from there you could add some finials on each side, or you could do little bud vases with more flowers in them, or maybe if this is a floral arrangement, add some bud vases with some ferns in it, like some fern stems. That would look really, really pretty too. So that's what I came up with. All of them are just very basic arrangements that you could obviously add more stuff into and create something that you really like. So hopefully one or maybe a couple of the items were helpful. At least that's all I can hope for. So there you go. Alright, so moving on, Misty asks, where on earth did you find the Wisconsin sign? I love it. I love it too. I'm assuming you're talking about the Wisconsin sign that I have hanging in my living room. So if that is the sign that you're talking about, that is something that I made a while back, and it kind of like takes me back because it's kind of like a trip down memory lane sign for me, because it kind of highlights my hometown when I was little. So I really like it a lot. I love getting it out every year and trying to use it in different ways. So it was really simple to make. It's basically a 1x12 board, black and white paint, and a set of stencils from Michaels. That's all I needed. So I just painted it on, and I was good to go. And then I'll do a little bit of distressing with some sandpaper, and there you go. I have a sign. And right now I just have it hanging on the wall with 3M command strips. So it works perfectly. Alright, so the next question is from Annie Bird, and she asks, how is that adorable puppy of yours doing? Well, we already kind of talked about the puppy a little bit, but he's doing really well. He seems to have settled in with the family. He's still very leery of my husband and one of my youngest daughter, but they just haven't had the time really to like sit down and let him get used to him. So it's coming. We've only had him about a month now, a little over a month, and yeah, we are just loving him so very much. He's actually starting to snuggle with me a little bit. Normally he sleeps with my oldest daughter, and you know, it's basically her dog at this point, but he has been snuggling with me at nap times when she's at school, so I have been very happy about that. The next question is from EB, and she is asking, what happened to your voice? This has been a long one. If you're new to my channel, I lost my voice a little bit before Thanksgiving. I had this really nasty head cold thing that was going on, and antibiotics weren't helping, and it's been a long struggle, and I'm finally getting my voice back. So sometimes it's really good, other times it's not, sometimes it's crackly, but yeah, so much better. Basically, the doctors can't really do anything more for me at this point. I just kind of have to wait until it kind of comes back on its own. So that is what's happening with my voice. Alright, so the next question is from Farine. Not sure if I'm saying that wrong. I apologize if I'm not saying it right. Farine1. And she asks, can you do a tutorial on the Crackle technique with the school glue, please? Absolutely. Now, I've already done, I think in one of my makeover videos, like thrift store makeover videos, I did show you the technique. And this is the corbel that I did it on. It turned out really, really cool. I obviously did a little bit more distressing on it, but if you can see that or not, it looks really nice and crackled. I love it a lot, but I will definitely do a separate video on that in February for you guys. So be looking forward to that. I will make sure that that happens towards the beginning of the month for sure. Okay? Alright. Alice the J-Ma asks, how's the puppy doing? Everybody loves Mr. Finn, I tell you. He's just the cutest little guy. He's doing great. We already talked about that a little bit. But one thing that I think is just hilarious is he is still terrified of riding in the car, which is not a good thing because we go a lot of places in the summertime. So every morning we take him wrapped in a blanket when I go run and take the kids to school, we wrap them in a blanket, and then one of the girls will hold him on the way to school, and then on the way home, back home, he has to sit in the passenger seat next to me and ride home on his own. So today was the first day that he didn't do a lot of shaking on the way home, so he's getting used to it. So we're just baby steps in order to get him to like driving in the car. So that's kind of like our major thing right now is getting him to like that, and also getting him fully potty trained. So it's coming along. Alright, so I think I only have one more question to answer, and that is a question by 1,000 Words, who's a bestie of mine on YouTube. Hello! She lives in New Zealand. She has a great channel. If you don't know her channel, check it out. I'll make sure to link it below. So anyways, she commented that she would like to know which Instagram accounts I enjoy. This is a big one. I have a lot that I like. So I was trying to figure out how I was going to answer this question, because there are a lot of channels that I like and I get inspiration from. So I've decided for today, I have picked 7 Instagram accounts that I really enjoy. And I know there are more accounts out there that I absolutely love also, but these are the ones that I chose to highlight today, because lately these are the core accounts that really have been speaking to me, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and start with number 7. I'll walk you to my absolute favorite, my number 1. Okay? So number 7 is Kim Power Style by the lovely Kim, who lives in Canada. I want to say, I can't remember, Ontario? Maybe? I don't know. I should know this because, funny story, her and I followed each other back when we were both blogging like full time. And I want to say that was like 4 or 5 years ago. So we've known of each other, and we used to follow each other's accounts, blogs, way back when, and then we both didn't blog as much for a while the last couple of years, and now here we are reconnected again on Instagram. So it's pretty cool. So the thing that I like about her Instagram account is that she has like this simplistic glam cottage thing going on, and I absolutely love it. She does a lot of like neutral colors, the whites that I like. She adds a lot of textures in, but then she's got like this slightly like understated glam look. And I just think it is, I don't know if glam is the right word, but that's what I call it. It's just like sort of posh, you know what I mean? But not like stuffy posh or stuffy glam. It's just, you know, just the right amount of, you know, sparkle here and there. And I love it so very much. And I love that she likes a lot of the same things and a lot of the same colors. She uses a lot of blues in her decor as her pops of color, and then she uses a lot of white, and we both love the ironstone and the textures of different, you know, kind of like natural items. So yeah, that is why I love her account so much. It is so beautiful, and her rooms are just so relaxed looking and kind of like a modern cottage look, if you will. Yeah, I love it so very much. So check her channel, check her Instagram out, and of course all these that I'm going to be mentioning I will make sure to link below in the description box, which I always say that and I'm very bad about doing that, so I will if I forget, somebody leave a comment and say, hey, where's my links, so I don't forget. Alright, so moving on to number 6. Alright, so number 6 is Faded Charm by Kathleen, and another beautiful account to follow on Instagram. The thing I like most about her account is that she's got this simplistic, cozy, like farmhouse cottage style going on, and I love it. Absolutely love it. I think her banner says something like white, weathered, and worn, and that is exactly what she is. She just knows how to like mix all these like the textures of like ironstone and like chippy painted wood with like real wood pieces that are faded and kind of dull, and just different stains on, different colored stains on wood pieces with like the white neutral backgrounds. It's just really, really pretty, and I get sucked into her feed. I go through her feed a lot because I just love it so much. But she uses a lot of like the worn woods and like chippy painted furniture and shelves, and then has a lot of painted furniture and that sort of thing, and then a lot of like natural accents like with the flowers and like wicker baskets and that sort of thing. Alright, so moving on to number 5, and that is a Petite Cottage, and this is by a lady named Anna. And I really like this particular account because she really has a way of mixing the creamy whites, all these different tones of white with like rustic wood pieces and that sort of thing. I just love it. She just has a knack, and every single picture she puts on her Instagram I just fall in love with. I just love it so much. So she uses a lot of like creamy whites, and she's got like, and then she adds in like the dark pewter silver sometimes, and then other times bright colors of flowers, and I just love it. And then she's got all these different mixtures of different tones of wood colors on like all these vintage pieces and stuff, and it's just gorgeous. Like, everything is just, ugh. The collections the lady has is just amazing, and it seems like she displays everything that she has, but the rooms don't feel like overcrowded or anything like that. It's just gorgeous. So go check out a Petite Cottage. So moving on to number 4 is Vintage Bliss by Sandy. This account is, if I were to describe, the best way I can describe this account is if I were to describe what farmhouse style should look like, this would be the place to look. It absolutely explains everything that I love about farmhouse style. It's the mixing of the white, creamy whites, natural textures, woods, painted wood, just lots of vintage items. Everything is just gorgeously displayed. It might be slightly more, her displays might be a slightly more larger than I would prefer, but it doesn't matter because it's just absolutely gorgeous. And she adds a lot of like, or she'll add touches of green around for like natural, like, you know, plants and I don't know, and wreaths and stuff like that. There's just always some sort of natural element to each and every room, and it's just gorgeous. And of course there's lots of vintage goodies to look at too. I could just scroll through looking at all the cool vintage things that she has and how she uses them in her home to kind of give it like that modern country feel that I love so much. So a very good account to go check out if you're looking for one. So that is the Vintage Bliss. So moving on to number 3. And this one is called Mountain Homestead, and it is by Christina. And oh, this is a rather new to me account. I think I might have within the last month or so, and I absolutely have fallen in love with it. She lives in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee, which how cool is that to start out with. The way she decorates is very rustic, yet very simplistic, and it just has that cozy, relaxed and feel that I think farmhouse is kind of gives a person. So I am loving that, and of course she has a ton of vintage items in her decor as well. There's a little bit of a theme going on there. But the one thing that really drew me in were her outdoor pictures. Like, she's got a couple of outbuildings and that sort of thing, but just the way she incorporates not only the inside of her house, but the outside of her house and the surrounding countryside of her house. It's just gorgeous. Her photos are breathtaking and so much fun to scroll through and just absorb. automatically relaxes me whenever I watch her feed or go through her feed. So definitely check out the Mountain Homestead. It's a very good one. Moving on to number 2 is SL Cook 52. This account is absolutely amazing if you love white backgrounds with like pops of color that just pop right out at you, and especially if you love like teal and like light pink and like the vintagey kind of cool or vintagey sort of pale colors. This is the account for you to be watching. The photos in this account are absolutely stunning. There's a lot of, there's a very good mix of like decor, and then she also does like flower arrangement photos, which are set in obviously gorgeous rooms. But then she does these like close-ups of items. Like at Christmas, it was like all these like shiny brights just arranged perfectly, like just a whole photo of just shiny brights and all their vintage glory, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. And she and her photos really put me in the mood for whatever season we're currently in. She just has a way of arranging things and zooming in on, the feel of the season in her photos, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And of course, I'm always struck by how beautiful her rooms are, because I just love those bright white rooms with those pops of colors that just stimulate the eyes. So I love this account so much. And of course she has that cottage vintage style going on also. So yeah, she's always full of inspiration and just a lot of eye candy. If you just need some of that and you need to get your fix, this is the place to go. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Alright, so that brings me to number 1. My all-time favorite Instagram account, and has been for quite some time, is, I'm probably going to butcher the name, but I'm going to try it anyways. I want to say it's pronounced Vibke Designs. I don't know if that's right or not, but this is by a lady named called Vibke, and I believe she is Dutch, but living in like Sweden or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But anyways, I have followed her way back when she first started her blogging. I think I found her when she only had like 200 followers on her blog. And I have been a faithful fan ever since. I absolutely love her work and her design. It's just absolutely gorgeous. She is like the master of using vintage items, natural items, and mixing a little bit of modern textures, like with the furs and stuff that are real popular right now. It's just amazing, the display she puts together. Her house is gorgeous. I think she even has, the house is like beadboard walls everywhere and these gorgeous chandeliers that look like they're like 80 years old. And she has like lace curtains on the wall that like her mother crocheted. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And the things she puts together, of course there's the ironstone and, silver pieces and glass pieces and just white dishes. And every year at Christmas time she makes like this gingerbread house, and it goes on this hutch that she has in her dining room. And I was just like, oh my goodness, there is perfection. Absolute perfection. So, like I said, used to follow her way back when on vlogs. Then I found her on then I started following her on Instagram, and she is still to this day the person that I go to when I am stuck and I need some sort of inspiration. And she does a seasonal decorating with lots of like natural elements and stuff. Sometimes she just does these gorgeous bouquets, and she'll have like 3 or 4 days of stuff where she's just like decorating the side of her shed, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And I can't even explain it. If you haven't seen her account, it is breathtaking. The one thing I find really interesting is the collections this lady must have. I don't know how she comes up with all the vintage things that she has. If you're into like red and white at Christmas, she does some gorgeous things. And then summer and spring, she'll do like all these displays, you know, like centered around blue or centered around this pale green. And it's just the things she has, like the soup trains that are like all brown and crackly and just absolutely gorgeous with like the transferware kind. And oh, where does she find these items? That is what I want to know. So yeah, she is like my idol when it comes to decorating. If I had just an ounce of her decorating skill, I would be so happy. So yeah, she is she's the mark where I'm trying to get. And one of these days maybe I'll get there. So I am just very, very happy with everything she does. And it's just like, oh, you know, just sign, just all the beautiful pictures and all the beautiful inspiration. It's just never ending on her account. So go check out Veep Key Design. And of course I will make sure I will link everything below. So that are the top 7 Instagram accounts that I am obsessed with at the moment. Alright, so that is it for me today. And this may have turned into a longer video than I anticipated it to be, but we shall see, we shall see. So, once again, thank you for your questions. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me today and listening to me as I chat on about decorating and life in general and whatever. It means a lot to me. And I've had a lot of fun with this, this question and answer. I've only done 2, I know, but this is a lot of fun for me. I'm having fun with it. So, make sure that if you have any questions, whether it be on decorating, lifestyle, personal questions for me, whatever, just leave it down in the comments and I will answer them next week, Lord willing, if I have enough questions to ask. I will let you get going. Thanks so very much for stopping by. Leave a comment or question down below and I will answer those again next week on Wednesday for my next Ask Robin question and answer time, which I'm kind of thinking that's what I'm going to call it from now on, Ask Robin. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't come up with a title yet. If you guys have a title for me, let me know. I'm not very good at coming up with titles. But anyways, see you next Wednesday. Leave your comments below.